Welcome back to our another video. Today we are back for another week prediction video. This time we're up to week 4 already in the NFL season, which is really come pretty quickly in my opinion. But we're running into all kinds of predictions as far as game picks, players to watch, upsets, all that kind of stuff. So before we get into it, just make sure you guys are subscribed. I am now just 1 subscriber away from 100. So I really appreciate that. It helps with the channel a lot, and it's always football content on this channel, whether it's NFL or Madden. It's always going to be football in some form. So we're just going to get right into it. So jumping in the graphic we made, we are 18-14 on the season. For anybody that might be, this is like your first time watching one of my videos for the team predictions. We did miss week 1. I didn't get that video out in time, unfortunately. So moving on from that, though, we are 18-14. We're pretty consistent. We went 9-7 both weeks, so from week 2 and week 3. On week 4, though, I am picking one of my upsets as the Bengals to actually win to beat the Dolphins tonight. And maybe it's not even really an upset. I think they're actually like 3-point favorites. So maybe that's not an upset. I'll have more either way. But I'm picking the Bengals. The Dolphins are a little banged up. I think the Bengals looked a lot better in that Jets win. Even though it was the Jets, things were clicking at least. I think the Bengals are going to start putting it together at least a little bit, whether they're like a Super Bowl caliber team again or not. I think they will at least be decent. And I think the Dolphins are good too, but I do think because of the injuries to the Dolphins and people might not be 100% healthy like they are on the Bengals for the most part, I think the Bengals are going to come with them by I think Vegas is probably right, about 3 points. And next up to the Panthers and Cardinals, I'm picking the Panthers. I learned my mistake last week not taking them. The other weeks, since forever, I've always picked them. It's always been wrong because they've never won a game before in their entire franchise history, but they own the Cardinals. So I'm picking the Panthers. I'm confident in this. Christian McCaffrey, unfortunately, I am sporting his shirt right now, and he might not play Saturday or Sunday, so that's definitely going to be brutal if he doesn't, although, honestly, I think they will beat them anyway. The Panthers' backup running backs are not that bad. Chuba Hubbard is decent, but Deontay Foreman's actually pretty good, so I think they can take the Cardinals. Still no D-Hop. So I have the Panthers by about 6 points in that game. Over to the Vikings and Saints. The Saints are just way too inconsistent for me to pick them in a game like this, so I'm picking the Vikings. This one was pretty straightforward to me. I think Jefferson will hopefully have a good game because it's been a little while for him since week 1. But yeah, not too much to say about that game. I just didn't think the Saints were really good enough to pick in that. And as for the Browns and Falcons, I will say I do think the Falcons are slightly better than what their 1-2 record shows. But I don't think they're going to be able to stop Nick Chubb. And so for that reason, I'm picking the Browns. Literally for that reason alone. Because honestly, I like the Falcons offense a bit more because of people like Kyle Pitts, as long as he's actually being used. And Drake London and Cordell Patterson, honestly. He's very good as well. He's just such a weapon. But Nick Chubb has just been playing absolutely amazing. He has more after contact yards than a lot of other running backs do in total. So I think he's really going to feast against the Falcons. I think it will be a close game, but I do have the Browns in that one as well. And then over to Cowboys and Washington. Washington doesn't look that good. I mean, they just don't, in my opinion. They don't look that great. They've had some close games, and they had some really not close games like last week. And Cooper Rush can't lose. If Cooper Rush is playing, I'm picking the Cowboys. That dude is never going to lose a game in his entire career. He's going to retire being better than Tom Brady. Bank on it, I promise. But really, though, he's actually looked pretty good. The Cowboys have not looked as bad as I thought they would without Dak. So, yeah, I am picking the Cowboys in that game. Over to Lions and Seahawks. Now, I am going to pick the Lions for this, although that is assuming Amon-Ra St. Brown plays. He right now is questionable and has not practiced the last 2 days as of Wednesday and today being Thursday. So if he plays, I'm picking the Lions. But if he does not play, no Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I think DeAndre Swift is banged up as well, the Seahawks actually could capitalize on some of the Lions' offensive injuries and win this game. Although the Lions' defense is also, I think, mostly healthy and pretty good. So they might not win regardless, although I will say I am predicting this game under the impression Amon-Ra St. Brown is playing. As for Colts and Titans, this game is literally a coin toss to me. I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. Both run games you'd think would be good, and then sometimes they're not. The Colts get shut up by the Jaguars, then they beat the Chiefs. The Titans look like they're going to lose a game, and all of a sudden they win. So this game is really hard to pick for me, especially being a divisional game as well for them. So I am picking the Colts because I think overall they have a stronger team, I guess. So I'm picking the Colts. I'm not very confident in that. I really feel like they could go either way. As for the Giants and Bears, I am going to pick the Giants. I'm just not high on the Bears. I mean, Khalil Herbert is good, but Justin Fields, he just doesn't throw enough passes for me to evaluate him accurately. I don't know how good he can really be. And some of the times I watch him, he's very inconsistent. So I'm picking the Giants. They got Saquon healthy. He's looking good. Hopefully, Kayvon Thibodeau can pick it up a little bit on defense. I know he's had, first game. Obviously, it might be a little bit slower, but hopefully he can pick it up a little bit. Hopefully, Evan Neal can block better than what he has because he's been not very good so far. But ultimately, I am picking the Giants to win that game. Eagles and Jacksonville, I'm actually really excited for this game. I think it'll be very, very competitive. I do think the Eagles will win, but it's really fun having the Jaguars be a good team because they have a lot of likable players, in my opinion. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he got absolutely screwed out of his rookie year with Urban Meyer being there. They got Christian Kirk, who everybody said was really overpaid, and now he's like a clear wide receiver #1 on that team, and he's doing incredible. They have James Robinson, who came back in like a record time from an Achilles injury, and he's playing incredible. Hopefully, Travis Etienne can get it going. On defense, they have Devin Lloyd, who's a rookie, and he's doing very well. I mean, they really have some great players. Trayvon Walker, obviously, as well. So, I think it'll be a fun game, but Jalen Hurts is just not cooling down, in my opinion. I think he's going to keep this up until they face a big loss, and I don't think that loss is going to come against the Jaguars. Steelers and Jets, I'm going to be honest, I actually had the Jets winning this game until they announced Zach Wilson coming back, and that made me change it, because honestly, I don't think Zach Wilson's going to come in and play amazing his first game back. I don't think it's not the case that he will never improve at all this season. I don't think that's true at all. But his first game back off an injury, and he didn't have a stellar year last year, I don't think he's going to look very good, which is understandable. I'm not saying that to like hate on him. I just think that's just kind of how it's, how it's going to be. So for that reason, I am picking the Steelers, although their offense is so slow anyway with Trubisky. I think it's going to be a pretty defensive game, but I do think the Steelers will probably come out on top in that. And then Ravens and Bills. This game should be very, very exciting. Should be very high scoring, I would hope. I am picking the Ravens in this. This might be a little bit of an upset. I'm honestly not sure. But this is because of the injuries to the Bills defense. Lamar Jackson has looked absolutely amazing. The Bills missing Micah Hyde all year is really going to influence my picks for the rest of the season because he's a huge player on that defense. He's amazing. He's one of the best in the league. And then also I think, I assume the Bills still have some of their corners out, at least one of them. So I think because those injuries, they're a little weaker on defense. I think Lamar's going to get advantage of it. I think he's playing amazing. He wants that guaranteed money. And I think the Bills will play well as well. Like, I think Josh Allen will play well. He always plays well, it seems like. Although I will say, when he does have some worse plays, media doesn't show you that all the time because they always tend to be very high on him. So I'm just telling you how it is, though, because you see a lot more Lamar Jackson kind of like fail videos than you do Josh Allen or someone like Tua, Not saying as good as Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but you get what I'm trying to say. But yes, I do have the Ravens winning that game. Might be a little bit upset, but I think the Ravens are going to be very good this year, which I've already owned up to. I did not think to be the case at all this year. I thought Lamar Jackson was slowing down a little bit statistically, and safe to say he has already proved me wrong 3 weeks in. As for the Chargers and Texans, I'm picking the Chargers. Chargers are not losing that bad 2 weeks in a row. Even though they do have Joey Bosa out, I don't think they're going to lose to the Texans. Texans have come close to some of their losses. I don't think they're going to sneak one on the Chargers, though. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I got the Chargers in that one. Packers and Patriots. This is going to be a rough game. I'm not going to lie. For Patriots fans, this is going to be a rough game. Probably no Mac Jones, I wouldn't think. And even if he does play, he's not going to be even close to 100%. He's struggled so far this year. Packers have a good defense. There's just not a single reason that makes me think the Patriots could pull this off, which, of course, now that I say that, they'll probably win. But yeah, I have the Packers in that one. Raiders and Broncos, I'm not excited for this game at all. The Broncos have just not been a very fun team to watch, in my opinion. The Raiders are 0-3, and they even seem to be more exciting to watch than the Broncos, in my opinion. So I am going to pick the Raiders in this. The Broncos have just really struggled getting stuff going. Even though they're 2-1, it doesn't really look like it, in my opinion. They beat the Texans, but barely. They beat the 49ers in one of the most boring games I've ever watched in my entire life. And I'm not a Broncos here. I'm not a Russell Wilson hater at all. It's just what I've seen so far. I don't think they're going to beat the Raiders. Even if the Raiders are 0-3, I think the Raiders will get it going quicker rather than later, because if they wait too much longer, they could seriously miss the playoffs with how competitive the AFC is. So I do think the Raiders finally bounce back and get their win this week. Chiefs and Buccaneers, this one's pretty clear to me, honestly. I think the Chiefs are clearly the better team. The Buccaneers offense has struggled. I'm not sure that's been a huge focus this year or not, but even when guys were healthy, they struggled a lot, honestly. Even on the ground game, Leonard Fournette, does he have a touchdown this season? I'm not even sure. So I have the Chiefs in that one. They're going to bounce back from the Colts. That was a really bad loss. I'm just not sure how that even happened. So I do the Chiefs by probably about 10 points in that game. And then finally, Rams and 49ers. I think it might be pretty competitive. I feel like the 49ers usually at least split with the Rams. I know they did it last year, or at least I think they did last year. I know they won the game at the end of the season. So yeah, they split with them. So I do have the Rams winning this game because of how slow the 49ers have looked in offense. And honestly, I don't know if that's Jimmy G to blame or not. It could be because he's had no time with the team in the offseason. I don't think he had a playbook. I think another large part of it is Mike McDaniel's gone. I mean, he's an offensive mastermind, And I think a lot of those hits have come to the 49ers offense because he's gone, and a mix of Jimmy Garoppolo trying to get back in the rhythm of things. I think the Rams will definitely take advantage of that, and they'll probably win pretty big by about 7 or 10 points in this. But guys, that's it for the video. What games do you agree with? What games do you disagree with? Just let me know down below. I assume if I did not pick your team, you're not going to be very happy. So go ahead and comment that down below. But be sure to subscribe to the channel. I am just one away from 100, and it's going to be football content pretty much daily, the entire year, whether it's NFL or Madden. It's always going to be one of which. I'm hoping to have around 3 NFL games to 4 Madden games. And then as the NFL season goes on and the Madden content kind of slows down, they'll probably flip to 4 NFL and 3 Madden. We'll see how that goes, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I might even do double uploads some days, 1 NFL, 1 Madden, just so I'm getting enough of it out there for everybody that likes either one, in case you don't like both. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.